So, hello, everybody. Once again, I am Bill Wagner, and in my ongoing quest to find great stories in esports, I've been fortunate enough to come into contact with a lot of smart people. And when I say smart people, I mean really smart people who realize the potential of esports. And I have with me today a young lady, Allie Young. Allie Young. She started her own media company about 12 years ago in the South. And she realized about 3 years ago the potential that esports has to bring people together. And also, she saw on a deeper level of how gaming is more than just people sitting in front of screens and saying bad words and screaming at each other. It's actually a social experience. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. She's going to talk a little bit about her background, and then we're going to go into what she's doing now, what her thought process going forward. So, Allie, go ahead.
Hey there, Bill. Thank you for having me.
Sure,
Um,
no problem.
so, my background is in sales and marketing. I told you before, I've been selling since I was two. Um,
That's right.
in sales and marketing, I started my own marketing firm about 12 years ago. We handle multi-million dollar accounts, and we help them with their marketing and growing their business. Um, and I guess about 3 years ago, I had met my husband playing video games um, online,
Mm-hmm.
and it was something that we built a community around that over the past 20 years. And about 3 years ago, we thought, we're hanging out with our friends and really kind of thinking to ourselves, why isn't there a top golf type experience for video games and esports?
Very
Because
nice.
that would absolutely be something that our buddies would go and hang out and have a few drinks and play games together in that social environment. So we started taking a look at it and realized there really isn't any place like that in the US. Globally, there are land centers. There are some land centers in the US, but mostly they're for 12-year-old kids and their birthday parties. um, and even back then, esports arena was still starting out, and they're on the West Coast, and we're out here in Atlanta and Georgia.
Hmm.
And there was a severe lack of places like this. And coming from a marketing background, um, I started doing due diligence and market research, and realized that, okay, well, the is there really a need for something like this? Is this something that other gamers would want to hang out at and go to and pay to be at, right? Because
Hmm.
and so we started actually looking on the corporate side, because in my mind, to be sustainable, having that subscription membership revenue is going to be really important. So um started socializing it to large companies like Coke and GE and High Res Studios here in Atlanta, and to really find out what their thoughts were and get their feedback on, hey, what do you think? And the response that we've received has been phenomenal. The companies actually came back and they had ideas on how they would want to utilize a space like this, not just for sponsorship opportunities to reach that millennial group 18 to 34, but the opportunities to for companies to be able to um, even provide benefits like a gym membership to to attract the millennial workforce, right?
See, see. Now that's really interesting that you're thinking that way, and it just goes to show, uh, 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 just goes to show that bringing an outside business mindset into esports, it's really beneficial because you can see gaming as more than just, I go home after work and I spend 3 hours online playing StarCraft or some other game and I have some friends that I hang out with online. Whereas you're taking people out of their homes and you're getting them together in a social experience that they would normally do with their friends. They would get together, have some pizza, and play some games and for several hours together. And whether that's people watching other people play or just being in the same area together.
Right.
And so what you're really doing is you're embracing the social concept of gaming.
Yes.
Yes, there is the competitive end, and that's great. But just like in basketball, you have professionals, you have the college, then you have the 10 friends who every Thursday at 6:30 p.m., they all meet at the same gym for a couple hours, and they play.
Exactly.
Right. And so they meet at the same gym, they play basketball for a couple hours. When they're done, they shower, then they go out for a couple beers and they go home. This is the exact same thing, right?
Right.
Exactly. So
it is.
right. And so so I like that you're thinking beyond just what people see on a screen. You're thinking of what do people see gaming as, and it's a social experience. And one of the great stats I saw last year was that there are more people that watch the League of Legends final than there are people that actually play the game worldwide. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So sort of talk about how your idea access a replay. It's called Access Replay. It's in Georgia. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. So sort of talk about your thought process behind taking all those pieces and putting them together, because you have the PC gaming portion, you have the console gaming portion, you even have tabletop gaming, you have the VR. On top of that, you have food, and we're not just talking, what we're talking about is real food that is cooked as opposed to vending machines, right?
Right.
So sort of talk about those pieces, how you thought through them, how you decided to do one thing versus do something else. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. And well, so I'm a big fan of Topgolf, right? And my friends and I go there and we hang out, something to do while you're out and enjoying a few drinks and being social. And we wanted to emulate that for the world of video games and esports. And, one of the, just like the article that you had talked about, with esports and gaming being so siloed, and, people aren't, they're not talking to each other, and
Right.
and you've got all of these pieces going on. Well, I've found that in the past 3 years that we've been developing this whole concept, and now it's finally, we're going to be opening November 14th, um, and we're just super excited. But it, it's been funny, and I'll share this with you because
Okay.
we had an investor, right, who we were sharing this idea with. We flew out to LA. We had this big presentation, and he was like, "So why don't you put this in a mall?" And I was like, "Well, it will never be in a mall." And it's there's nothing against malls, but when you look at a land center, the where kids go and play, and that's fine. Families will come and play at Access Replay. However, it's not a mall type of environment where parents can drop their kids off and play video games. Right.
Right.
Our goal, and my goal, is to have gaming, is to help promote and bring gaming mainstream. And so the way we were going to do that is to attract the soccer moms and the soccer dads, right? I mean, when you look at Top Golf, for example, 51% of the people that go to Top Golf don't even play golf.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
And when you look at the US population number, 41% of the US population plays golf, and
Hmm.
60% of the US population plays video games.
Right.
So when you're looking at those numbers, uh, why, to me, it made all the sense in the world to build something like a Top Golf for gamers to go and socialize.
Right.
So someplace that you're going to bring your girlfriend or your wife for a date night, right? Somewhere that you're going to take,
Interesting.
somewhere that I would take clients
Right.
to do business.
So basically, you're taking gaming and you're turning it into the next level of being social.
Exactly.
So it's not just people hanging out in their family room with a console and some pizza. You're now going to turn gaming into basically a sports bar, um, a concept, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but then there's also the other side of that piece that I think that a lot of people, especially ones that don't understand the business of esports, that there's a business aspect to this that you also have. Now, I was looking at your
Mm-hmm.
site, accessreplay.com, accessreplay.com, and one of the features that you have for your site is that you have have some have some have co-working space and you have meeting room. So
Mm-hmm.
so what that sort of tells me is your thought process is, yes, you're going to engage the consumer in what they enjoy, and that's watching people, whether it's Fortnite, League of Legends, Call of Duty, whatever. You're going to engage that. You're going to have the good food, you're going to have the good alcohol, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to you're going to have that, but then you're also going to have a revenue stream that you can create, kind of a database of the user interaction data that people who maybe the established brands want to understand how to better integrate their brands into gaming, or you have a startup company with a really cool idea, like in the VR space, and they want some
Mm-hmm.
space to test that out, right?
Right, right. So, when we started socializing this idea with companies, they were so excited to have a place where they can have focus groups, right? They can
Got it.
bring in, Invest Atlanta, for example, is one of our strategic partners that we've been working with to help them with their work development initiatives, where they are trying to attract uh, people and talent in the game development arena.
Got it.
And so when you look at, game developers, well, where would they hang out? They would hang out at a place like this, right?
Exactly.
They were so excited to have that conversation to say, hey, what if we ran some recruitment
Hmm.
events there? And when you look at when you look at our competitors, the other events and entertainment and event facilities that have video games and esports, abilities, they're open, they're bars, they're open from 5 p.m. till
Right.
midnight, and we plan on being open during the day to hold these types of corporate events that make sense. And additionally, I mean, we have businesses all that have been telling us for the past 2-3 years that, you know what, this would be great. I'm always looking for something different and fun for my employees to do.
Hmm. See, and I also think that people don't realize that what what Silicon Valley has done with the startup world in general is they have a series of companies like 500 startups and a Y Combinator who
Mm-hmm.
their whole job is to find startup ideas and just quality startup ideas and teams and build them out. And
Yes.
what you're doing is you're going that route, but you're going that route in the gaming space.
Right.
You have the ability. During the day, people work and they build, and then at night they can take what they build and they can put it in front of an audience that wants to be there. They want to
Yes.
interact and they want to tell you all about it, right?
Yes.
So
That's exactly
so
right.
right, so you're building a top to bottom esports. What am I trying to say? Esports
Ecosystem.
ecosystem. Yes, exactly. You're
That's
you're
it.
you're building a full ecosystem from idea to development to launch, or idea development, test development, launch,
Yes.
and and the and I don't think people know this. The what exists in the South from a technology investment standpoint is tremendous, but people only hear about what happens in Silicon Valley. And
Right.
there's so much, there's so many smart people down there from a business standpoint that 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 love what they do. They want to invest in new ideas. They want to invest in great people,
Mm-hmm.
and what you're putting together right now, and this is going to go over the heads of a lot of people, but that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
It
But
has, trust me.
because people think of gaming as, well, there's like 5 publishers and they put games out and we play them. Like,
Right.
no, it's actually a lot more deeper than that.
It
and
is.
and when and it goes to the point of that, the old thought process of television and newspapers and radio is dying, and this is what is coming. Excuse me. This is what is coming next. This is the
Yes.
next step. And so, to innovate in this space and understand user behavior, you you have to have an incubator
Right.
that has all the test subjects built in, and they want to be tested. They
They
want to
do.
experience it, right?
Yeah, I mean, as gamers, we always want the new, the next new thing, right? I mean,
Right.
where for me, it's a new computer every year or 6 months, right? I mean, it's,
Exactly.
oh, I saw that shiny new. My husband doesn't buy me jewelry; he buys me electronic stuff, right? Like, oh yeah, I like that Corsair K95, and it's so
That's awesome.
shiny, and so yeah, absolutely, and that's really, the it's so exciting from a marketing standpoint, to help build those brands, but also, I mean, even as a consumer, being able to go somewhere, and I mean, just from a testing standpoint, right? Like, if I'm paying $300 for a keyboard, I want to be able to try it out and play on it for a minute, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
you go to Best Buy, you go to Fry's, and it's, it's all out there, but it's not like you're actually playing on it, feeling the reaction times,
Hmm.
what's our latency on, on a Cherry
Right.
MX versus a Cherry Brown, and so
Right.
there are all these things that you really want to try first, but you there's nowhere to do that.
Exactly. This is, man. I just met you, and I could already tell that I want to be around you more because you have these great thought processes. I was like, yes, I finally met somebody who thinks like I do. This is awesome.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so no problem. So okay, so you said that you're going to open November the 14th, right?
Yes, yes. So it is tied in. We've created strategic partnerships with Hyra Studios and Skillshot
Mhm.
Media and Rise Ventures
Nice.
to create the first ever esports week. That is in coordination. Actually, it's in also our strategic partner with DreamHack.
Hmm.
And basically, what that is to create a small environment for director levels and executives to get together and experience what esports and gaming is. So we have select invitation. We've got some great people who are going to be on panels. We have we have the state elected
Hmm.
officials that are going to kick it off with a big press conference and
Hmm.
a nice dinner for about 75 to 100 director levels with brands who are interested in learning more and
Hmm.
finding out more. But then, we take everybody, that's the kickoff. Then Thursday um, we'll be bringing everybody on a tour to High Res Studios where the magic happens and the game is actually developed. The games are developed and conceptualized, and then they'll get to go to Skillshot Media where production happens for that, and then they
Right.
get to go to Turner Studios and E League where they get to see an arena space, and where they televise esports games, right?
Right.
And then they get to experience DreamHack from a VIP backstage level where
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
yes,
Oh
yes.
man.
So
I'm so jealous. I'm already jealous. Oh boy.
all right, I'll send you an invite to the event, but
That would be freaking awesome. Holy crap. Oh.
so it's going to be a ton of fun, but we'll do programming at DreamHack. But just imagine, if you are a Fortune 100 company and you're, a CMO of a Fortune 100 company, you want to learn more about the
Hmm.
emerging industry of esports, right?
Right.
And you actually start from start to finish, actually get to see where the games are made and what that culture is like. And then
Hmm.
you go to, a big press conference at DreamHack, and then you actually get to experience their opening ceremonies and have the doors open and everybody kind of piling in there, and then getting to actually sit into HRX and the World Championships for Smite. And but then
Hmm.
you also get a chance to have a conversation. You when you put director levels in a room of people who make this stuff happen,
Hmm.
things get done,
Yes, they do.
right? And when you can have a conversation with an Overwatch League owner and a CEO, and you can have a conversation, and they can meet up with the CMO at Coke Esports. I mean,
Hmm.
things will happen, right?
Yes.
And so that's the experience that we want to create for Esports Week Atlanta, and tying that into such a huge event, with DreamHack. And then of course for us, our goal is to scale and have multiple locations throughout the country and worldwide. So when we're looking at what we're working on accomplishing, I mean, how we can't get much better than having our press conference at Access Replay to kick off Esports Week Atlanta, and an event of that magnitude.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm very excited for you. I know that over the next what today's the 15th. So over the next month,
Yes.
you're going to be a busy person. Um, thank you very much, Allie, for making
Thank
time for
you.
me. Your idea is and your concept, bringing it to life, is awesome. I think I've been kind of looking at how the next step is going to happen, and I think that you have really hit on something that 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 addresses what gaming needs to move forward, and it's going to be inside your building where during
Yes.
the day people build the ideas and they connect with the big brands, and then at night they take what they built and they put it in front of people, and it's the constant innovate and test and innovate and test and innovate and test, and you do that cycle over and over again, and that's where the real results those come from. So
Mm,
I'm very excited for you. So
thank you.
as we shut this down, is there anything that you just want to promote that you haven't yet so far?
No, I mean, I just would love for anybody listening to visit us in Atlanta, and if not, we'll just let you know when we're opening a place near you.
Awesome. Yes. So you can head over right now, everybody, to accessreplay.com. You can see all their um, social media platforms and connections there. Check out what they have. Sign up for the newsletter. Go on LinkedIn. Find this incredibly intelligent and innovative and strong woman who has a ton of great ideas and who made time to talk to me. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Allie, thank you once again. I appreciate your time very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You got it, everybody. You can head over to esportslabs.io. Also, esportsshowdown.com is where we're hosting some tournaments. Check us out on Twitter, and we'll see you very, very, very soon.